देवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं. So we are discussing concepts of Bhagavad Gita, which Sri Krishna says to Arjuna. It's a kind of dialogue, kind of question answer, which Arjuna is asking questions and Krishna is replying. But why the questions will arise? There is only one topic, only one concept, which is a source of all the questions, and that's our existence. If you don't have a question about your own existence, one side the religion, spirituality also will not mean anything, and one side your scientific progress, worldly progress, etc. also will not mean anything. Many youngsters, those who are not only satisfied with their present way of life, and those in whose mind this inquiry or this question is always disturbing, and some have even very bluntly asked, why do I exist? What is the purpose of my existence? Why should I exist? Did I choose to? I don't remember to have planned, I don't have remembered to say to anybody that I want to take birth. And then there is so much suffering. Intense suffering, fortunately we do not know. That is when you were in the womb of your mother, and the very early childhood, where you are completely dependent on others. I remember talking to some devotees. So one devotee told, actually I am very much frightened of my old age. What will happen? I am bedridden, I can't move, I can't do anything. People have to serve me. Paid people or loved people will serve me. But I have to undergo this suffering. And the worst case scenario will be that I may have dementia, Alzheimer. I don't even know what is going on. And that makes me frightened. That makes me upset. And I don't see any other way to save myself from this. That's what Krishna told to Arjuna also. Dehinosmin yathadehe kaumaram yauvanam jara tathadehantara prapti. All of us were children once upon a time. We became a young man, young woman. Does anybody cry? Oh, I lost my childhood. From youth, we slowly become more grown up, elderly. Youth becomes something in the past. Because of vigor, because of ability to move around, ability to enjoy, many of us may think, this old age is not good. When I was young, it was good. But we never cried. We didn't lament over it. So when you become old and you have to die, you didn't cry for any of your previous state of life. Why there should be cry for the last stage of your life, that is called death? That's why from spiritual point of view it is said, if your life was very good, let others cry. Oh, he was very good or she was very good. We lost irreparable loss. We lost one Swami just a few days before. He was 84. So those who stayed with him last few years, it was an irreparable loss. So your loved ones may think that it's not important what others are thinking about me. Spiritual life doesn't depend on what others are talking about me. Spiritual life depends on what I think about myself, what I am doing, what I want to do. It cannot be that somebody wants me to do. Your spiritual life doesn't depend on what others want you to do or to be. So those who are sincere about the life itself, why do I exist? I don't even remember many things of my life. Coming back to the complaint that a devotee said that I am very much afraid. I do not know. It is an unavoidable future. So I told, but you already have gone through this. When did I went through all this? I said, in your childhood. From the day one of your life till say 2 years, 3 years old, what did you do by yourself? Nothing. Everything was done by your parents or somebody else. And I told you are very worried about Alzheimer and dementia. Very early childhood was practically a state of that. You don't remember anything what you did. It will be a good practice for you. Sit quietly one day and try to remember the earliest memory of your life. Go year by year. How many of you, just for experiment, how many of you can clearly remember your days when you were in primary 1? Most of you, I do not know. Don't remember that. Primary 1 is already you are 5 years old. So 365 multiplied by 5, that many number of days you have spent in this world. And you do not have, or you may not have, some may have. You don't have any memory of that. But you lived the life, not somebody else lived on behalf of you. So we don't remember. And what we are very proud of, that's why in our traditional devotional songs, in North India, in Hindi, some bhajans, one line is very common, many times it will come. Don't be proud of your wealth and don't be proud of your youth. Dhana yovan ka garavana ki. Like this, similar lines will be there. Because what you are proud of it takes a very, very short time to completely destroy that. It is there, it is there. You cannot say it will stay eternally. Forget about eternally, not even for a long time. So, the existential inquiry, or rather inquiry about our own existence, is the root of everything. One planning people do, as many days I live, I want to live happily. For that what I need money, I need insurance, I need this, I need that, and everything people try to do it. Not everything you plan could be useful to you, but still people do planning. Yes, you don't remember your childhood, but you existed. Same way, even if when you will not exist physically, you may exist because your memory doesn't depend on your existing physically. You existed physically till 5 years old, but you don't have the memory. So it was equivalent to non-existent. Swami Vivekananda gave a discourse which is named as the necessity of religion. This you will find, of course you find in the complete works of Swami Vivekananda, but also in a book. There is a book called Jnana Yoga. This lecture is added into Jnana Yoga a little later. The necessity of religion. There Swamiji says that the germ of religion, from where it would have started, is this: that do my existence depend on my memory? I existed, but I don't remember. Forget about existing in mother's womb. We don't remember even when we walked around, cried around, eat around. That too we don't remember. And even after that also, many things which we do, most of the things we don't remember. How many of us remember what last Sunday you took lunch? What 1 year before on a particular day you ate and you went? We don't remember most of our past. That doesn't mean we didn't live our life. We lived, we did everything, but we don't remember. So our remembrance, our memory is not the certificate of our existence. If that would be your certificate, then you didn't exist most of the days of your life because you don't remember. So as I existed but I don't remember, maybe after death also I will exist. There is a way of explaining, or rather way of imagining or way of experiencing. Can we imagine? Can I imagine? Can you imagine? It is not a group work, it's an individual work. Can you imagine about your death? Frankly speaking, no. We all know, information is there, we all know one day we will die, but still you cannot imagine that you are dead. Take few seconds and try to imagine that you are dead. At the most what you can do is you imagine yourself lying and you are dead. But you are looking at your body, which is dead. You can never die. Instinctively, we are afraid of somebody's death Because our own death we don't imagine, we cannot imagine. It is something that somebody took poison and he or she was dead, so I will not take poison because I will also die. Somebody's experience you take as a certified experience, and that works. That works. So that also is not correct to say, I don't accept anything without experience. You don't have experience of dying. Or even if you have, you don't remember. So how do you say poison kills? You didn't take poison. You didn't die by poison. So you use somebody's experience. Why I am telling this? If you take this, somebody's experience as true, and you think it is logical, then we should be accepting the experience of these great sages who were sincere to their backbone, never tell lie, never cheated anybody. They just narrated their own experiences. High character, great life of a renunciation, gave up everything for the sake of truth. Their words we don't accept. So that the great sages, the great rishis, the great saints and seers, they lived this life. And they experienced in their own way. What they experienced, they narrated. It is their experience. And we accept that experience as a very source of information. In our scriptures, it is called as Apta Pramana, the proof which is given by an Apta, A-P-T-A, Apta. Apta is one who has realized the truth. Many things in our life, when you are egoistic, when you are, at that time you do not have this discrimination, what I am speaking, what I am doing. That's why it is always said that be humble in putting forward anything. As I told, I don't accept anything without my experience, but you accept. I don't believe anything until I see it. No. Without seeing it also you have accepted. So this permanent question arises in the mind of everybody without fail. Whether you are a poor, whether you believe in this or that, whether you are at all you are religious or not, doesn't matter. If you are a sane person, if you are really sincere, then you have this question in your mind, why do I exist? From where did I come? Where am I going to go? And if this is the only life, okay, I was born, I will die. That what materialistic people do not have anything to look forward. Why should I do what I am doing? Why should I work hard? Because I am going to die one day. I should enjoy it at any cost. What does it matter? I take loan and I don't repay. After that, chase me for your money. This kind of thinking is there in the materialistic life. Enjoyment, enjoyment, enjoyment. None of us are free from that. None of us are free from that because of this body. The body has its cravings. And body is ready to fulfill the cravings with the senses which the body has. If you want to see something, you use your eyes. When you touch something, you use your hand. Actually, technically your skin. The sensation of touch is in the skin. When you hear something, you use your ears. You want to smell something, you have your nose. You want to taste something, you have your mouth. So we have 5 senses in this body, which are the 5 different ways of gathering the knowledge. Knowledge of the objects of the world. What object, good or bad, is a different thing. Whether you watch Ramayana or you watch some other serial in TV, it's the same eye. You don't have a separate eye for a spiritual things to see and a separate eye for the worldly things to see. It is the same eye. So we have 5 senses of knowledge. Simple knowledge doesn't mean anything, so you want to act accordingly. As soon as you saw something, and it's a multi-organ mechanism. I can see only, I cannot hear. Ears can hear only, it cannot see. Mouth can taste or speak, it cannot smell. Nose can smell but cannot eat. Every sense has its own capacity, duty. Nothing more than that it can do. You can increase the capacity of your senses. Few of you are wearing specs, correct? Your eyes were not capable to read or see a thing in distance. So you put a glass. You extended your capacity. Oh, that very farthest star I cannot see. Man invented telescope. There are so many fine things I cannot see. Okay, invented microscope. So the microscope and telescope is nothing but increasing the capacity of your eyes. Similarly, we invented many things. We increase our capacity to hear. If somebody shouts, I can hear. But now you have machinery. Somebody shouts in any part of the globe, you can hear with the help of machine. We increased our capacity. So science helps us to increase the capacity of our 5 senses of knowledge. There are many things in the world we do not have capacity to experience. But we have instruments. They will experience, and it is our instrument, so we believe in our instrument. Can you discriminate between 2 pieces of iron? One is a magnet, one is a normal iron. Visibly you cannot, touch also you cannot. So the body doesn't have capacity to feel the magnetic field, it cannot. So that field, how to know? So we invented, science helped us to even experience that magnetic field. The 5 senses gather the knowledge and information of the external world and also of your body. Now you want to respond to that. So you have another set of 5 senses, which we call 5 senses of action. You respond to that. You have a desire, you saw something, you have a desire. How to fulfill the desire? Eyes have seen something. So your desire is to get that thing. I cannot go there and catch that thing. So all the 5 senses of knowledge with the help of mind are also connected with the 5 senses of action. And you are behind, who is a consciousness, covered consciousness, covered with ignorance. So that consciousness processes everything, which sometimes you call brain. There is a simple story, just to understand this. A thief was running around and the police was behind him to catch him. The thief ran into the forest. The police followed him. In a forest, in the deep forest, the thief found a mendicant, a monk, sitting and meditating. So he came and told to the monk, police is behind me, I am going this side. When they come, you say that I am on the other side. So the monk said, why should I tell a lie? Because you want to save your life. Now if you don't do, I will kill you. Whatever, story goes like this. So the monk said, I will not tell lies. I will tell only the truth. So that means you will tell that I am going this side. That I will not tell. But I will not tell a lie. So he said, how? If you tell the truth, this is the only truth, that I am going towards this side. And the thief ran away. The police came, asked the monk, which side the thief has gone? Do you know? Yes, I know. Then you tell. So the monk said, my eyes have seen him going, but my eyes cannot speak. My mouth wants to speak, but it is not seen. This is a story of it. So your eyes and your mouth, one can see, one can speak. One who speaks has not seen. One who has seen cannot speak. So how you see and then speak about it? All the five senses, whatever information we are gathering, is being processed. And then the processed information comes out of you with the help of speech, with the help of action. If one of the senses is not working properly, your perception of this world will change. The world is not the same what I am seeing. For you it could be different. Now there is aircon. Some of you will feel it is very cold. Other person may say, I think aircon is not working, it is so hot. We are living in the same world, but our experience differs. It doesn't remain the same. A person who is born color blind, for him the whole world is black and white, correct? He doesn't see the colors. A person who is born deaf, for him there is no sound in this world. So whatever world which we are seeing is what we experience with the five senses. If we would have one more sense, our world would be different. If you would have one less sense, your world will be different. If your senses have different capacity, your world is different. Many times when the scientists reach on the border of science and philosophy, then his statements becomes different. So the great scientists, you will find in their discourses and talks, sometimes they become not only intuitive, but also philosophical. I remember, I've read one incident. Sir Isaac Newton was walking on the seashore. A person, many people are there, a person could recognize him. And so, sir, I am so fortunate that I have seen you are a great scientist. He said, no, who says so? Everybody knows. Then Sir Isaac Newton took little sand from the seashore and told that man, my knowledge of science is only this much. And look at the vast sea beach and in the whole world. How much sand? I know only this much. Which is not even, you cannot even calculate in percentage. The more you know that you do not know. I many times say, scientific point of view, all of you are educated and intelligent in your own way. There are, in science also, in mathematics also, you have hypothesis on which you work and then you prove. We have certain understanding of science and till now we believe that it is true. So in the night in the clear sky, if you look at the sky, you see the stars. What is after the stars? Now you have many kind of new science has developed, so they not only see the stars we see, but they can see even the galaxies and all. Think there is a galaxy. Think there are millions of stars. Somewhere it should end. There must be some star beyond which there is no star. Logic I am telling, it may be completely wrong. Because there is no end or beginning in the universe. But if I am seeing the sky like this, so there must be a farthest star. What is behind that star? If nothing is there, still space is there. That's why the world is called infinite world. But if it is infinite, infinity cannot be created. Correct? Can anything which is infinite can be created? Because the creator should be bigger than the created. These are simple logic, or layman's logic, not scientist logic. I am not a scientist. I don't know. How infinite universe can be created? So there is only one thing. Either it is not infinite, but if it is not infinite, what is beyond that? Even space is part of the universe. The only thing which comes to is that it is not created. It's your imagination. Second thing, forget about the further stars. The things which are around me, which I am touching, which I am seeing, which I am hearing. How much we know about those objects? In a particular state of your mind or existence, you see what it is. As soon as that changes, your world changes. If you want to see things, you can look at there are curtains, there is a speaker, there is a fan, there is aircon, there are people, there are tables, this and that. Do I see a whole universe on this piece of paper? I don't see, I see it as blank paper. But if the same blank paper is put under a microscope which can enlarge few thousand times, you will find the whole world is here. Long before I was a student, when I went to a science museum in Calcutta. So there was a microscope and it was written, it magnifies the object 3,000 times bigger. So I was very much interested. 3,000 times this small object which I am not able to see, I will be able to see. So they say, take a drop of water and keep below the microscope and then see what is that. Crystal clear water. When you see through the microscope, the whole aquarium is there. Everything is there. You can see different sets of aquatic animals moving around. This is not imagination, this is a fact which you are able to see it. But as soon as your eyes are out of microscope, you don't see it. Why I am telling all this? Is to see only that world is not only what you are seeing around. If you Google the invisible world, these things also will come part of it. This world we are able to see because our eyes are habituated to see this. If you want to see more than that, you take help of the instruments. We can see the things provided the frequency of light is neither more than this or less than this. If less than this we cannot see, more than that also we cannot see. You can see the sun rising. You cannot look at the sun at 12 o'clock in the afternoon because your eyes are not habituated. These are the common things to know when we come to the philosophical points. Easy to understand. You know, in California there are trees which are hundreds of feet high. So only a few years before, some botanist, they said, let me climb this tree. Say the tree is 300 feet high. There is almost 30-story building. You go to the 30th floor, the wind is different, correct? The normal smell which you get on the first floor, the food court and this and that, you don't get there. So when he climbed the tree, on different levels he found different types of insects, different types of birds staying in the tree. That which stays within 10-15 feet, they don't find it on 250 feet. That which stays there, you do not find it in 10 or 15 feet. The fish which you can find on the surface of the river or the ocean, you do not find those fish at the bottom of the ocean. That which you find in the bottom, you do not find on the surface. Why? Because they are habituated to stay there. If an animal which stays at the bottom of the ocean, if it is brought to the surface, at least theoretically, it will break into pieces by itself. Because at the bottom of the ocean, the water pressure and his body pressure equalize, so it will stay alive. When water pressure will not be there, but internal pressure is there, the poor animal will die. And that which is on the surface goes to the bottom, cannot take the weight of water. It will die. What we are discussing here is that everything is true in these circumstances. In this wavelength of light and sound, we are able to see and hear. If it is more than or less than what we are habituated to, we cannot. So when we say this world is real, it is real in this frequency only. As soon as the frequency changes, the perception about the world will change. That's why spiritually also, those who are have progressed in spirituality, their perception changes. That's why as if they bring the message from that level. It is not mystic or metaphysical something, but it is very scientific. Because in that state of mind, their perception is different than ours. To have that perception, you must change to that capacity. If you go to a tallest building in Singapore and look from there, you can see people moving. Still, if it is within that range, if the range is higher, when you go by flight and look down, if the sky is clear, you can see the rivers. You may see. But you may not see people moving. Even if you see people moving, you may not be able to see whether it's a man or a woman. To understand that perception, you must go to that level to see what they see. That's why it is said, religion, Swami Vivekananda clearly says, religion is realization. Religion is not reading and acknowledging. I read in the book and I tell that anybody can do. But if that understanding is there, that realization is there, then that much religious only you are. Religion is not in the books. Otherwise, those who are scholars would have realized. Scholar is one group of people and realized souls, saints are different group of people. Most of the great people who are ruling this world from a spiritual point of view, except one or two, none of them were even scholars. Jesus was not a scholar. Prophet was not a scholar. Buddha was a scholar. Rama was a scholar. Krishna was a scholar. Chaitanya was a scholar. Ramakrishna was not a scholar. Scholar is one group of people. In university, if you go, those who are teaching philosophy, they are much better scholars than most of the monks. But the interpretation immediately changes. If the life is attached to it, then philosophical understanding changes. What I am telling in last sentence is what? There is a story given by Sri Ramakrishna that a king wanted to learn scripture. So he is a king. So he found out the best scholar in the city, in his kingdom, and hired him. Then every day you will come and explain to me the scriptures. Bhagavatam or whichever scripture. So the scholars started coming, teach the king for some time, and ask a question to the king. King, have you understood what I say? And the king was a king eventually, though he was not a scholar, but he was a king. So the king would reply to him, first you understand. The scholar says, why he is telling me to understand? I already understood, I am a scholar. Every day a scholar will teach him and ask a question, king, have you understood? And the king will reply to him, first you understand. This went on. And scholar is not able to say anything, but he eventually is a king. And you cannot go against the king. Okay, sir, you asked me to understand. I have understood a little. King says, no, you have not understood. So the scholar was very much disturbed. Why everyday king says that I have not understood? He doesn't even know the scripture. I have studied the scripture. And still he says I have not understood. So the scholar started meditating on what he is teaching. Scriptures has a value provided you want to practice in your life. If scripture you take like mathematics, 2 plus 2 is equal to 4, to say that nobody needs your character certificate because 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. Scriptures are not there. Scriptures are if you practice. If you do not practice, scripture is only a bundle of information. And if you cannot practice it, most of the instruction of these scriptures will not mean anything. So the scholar went on meditating. Then he realized, I am teaching to the king every day that the world is unreal. God is only real. And when king says to me to understand it, that means if it is unreal, I must have to renounce it. So one fine morning, after getting convinced what he was teaching to the king, understanding perfectly, he left his home and told his son, today in my place, you please go to the king and say sorry on behalf of me, but just tell him that yes, the scholar today could understand this scripture. The meaning of the story is this: it is not explaining or the capacity to explain the scriptures, but it is capacity to understand and practice the scripture. If we cannot practice, you can be a scholar. No harm. No harm. Better to be a scholar than to not to be anything. But that is not everything. Scholarship is good, but if scholarship is not being translated in your life, then you are not understood the scripture. So then what is the purport of the scriptures? So, the question about our own existence. Swami Samachittananda says in one place, till there is something called death in this world, till then, this question will arise in the minds of everybody, irrespective of who you are, which religion you are. This question will come to your mind: is what I am seeing around me is real? It's very difficult to understand that it is not real. How to say it is not real when I see it is in front of me? I can touch it, I can feel it, I can smell it, I can talk to it. How to say it is unreal? The meaning of it is taken in the next